What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well because today we are back with another Barca Talk Tuesdays. And you know what? Listen, I'm already loving this series. And guys, listen, there is a lot of news with Barcelona, with the Lamine Yamal comments about the Ballon'Dor, with, Joan Garcia, right? We had a UCL final. Deco talked about the striker. You mentioned Gyokeres. He was asked about him. Guys, we have a lot of things to discuss, and I'm here with my guy, Barca Volume. How you doing, my guy? Tell the people.
Amazing. Amazing as always, man. It will almost at the here we go for Joan Garcia. It does not get any
Almost.
better. I am so excited. You have no idea. We need a world-class goalkeeper, and no better time than this season coming up, man.
Yeah, bro. Listen, that's just how it is, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm seeing all this news about Barca. Bro, we're fully in the offseason. Like, we're fully in the offseason. You're seeing the players going back to international duty. You're seeing Barca, right? It looks like we're gonna wrap this deal up, and it's not gonna be the first thing that we talked about because you know what? Let's get straight into it because I'm sure that you catched and you watched the UCL final, right? PSG versus Inter Milan. And guys, this is the first thing we're going to talk about, the UCL final recap real quick, but listen, when I was watching that game, I don't know if you got the same feeling. Bro, I was disappointed. Every PSG goal, I was like, Inter Milan, I'll be real. I gave them a lot of respect, but that was a no-show. And Barcelona lost to that team. It just disappointed me a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should have been in that final. I don't care. Like, people could say they deserved it. Fair enough. They did deserve it. Fair enough. But I don't know. How'd you feel about the UCL final before I give my thoughts, man?
I gotta be honest with you, Jonas. I was extremely embarrassed because how can Barcelona not beat this Inter Milan team? And if we only had Balde, if we only had Conde for this tie, dude, it's over. It's not even close. And the
If we
fact
had
that,
Balde, I
oh
agree.
my
I,
goodness,
I
man.
agree.
Even like Kvaratskhelia was having his way with Dumfries, and Dumfries was a no-show the whole game, and he was a
Oh my God.
monster against Barca, dude.
Oh my God. Yo,
And
Barcelona, do not get me started on that guy, Dumfries. That
oh my,
guy looked like an absolute world beater against Barcelona. 5 GA in 2 games. And then against PSG, absolutely neutralized by Nuno Mendes. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't care if this is biased. Alejandro Balde would have done great on Dumfries. He's similar to Nuno Mendes. Listen,
the
that's
problem
why I
is
think,
you gotta be physical, and Barca
yeah,
wasn't physical with Dumfries, and you can see the moment Kvaratskhelia and Nuno Mendes, they just absolutely annihilated him, and he was a force. Even if you take a look at Dumfries, he's so big, right? And
yeah,
he
he's
can
giant,
impose his
bro.
will, and even then. He was getting worked by Nuno Mendes and Kvaratskhelia. I couldn't believe my eyes. And honestly, like I said, I'm a little embarrassed because Barcelona would have given so much more fight in this game. It's not even close, dude.
I agree, bro.
I almost see it like a 45. I'll probably give PSG because they have such a good defense. I would probably would have given them like a 55%, but Barca would absolutely, give put up a fight against PSG. I'm
What
not
I
gonna
would have
lie, man.
said, bro, I would say, I respect PSG. They absolutely dominated Inter. I would probably say it's 60-40. I think that's respectable. 40 is still a lot for Barca to win that final. But what I will say is that Paris Saint-Germain, it like they just cooked them. You know what I'm saying? And like I have a lot of takes. I think that PSG, that the fact that they were able to rest players for so long in their league, they had it wrapped up with I think 7 games left. That
Yeah.
helped them in the UCL. But listen, guys, I do not want to ignore the chat. Right in between topics, I'll get to you guys. Big up Santiago. Big up a 1, 2, 3. Big up what's it called, Jerome. Guys, listen, the Ter Stegen situation. We will get to that later in this video with Joan Garcia coming. Big up my guy Van Lee also. But listen, there was a comment right here that I do want to highlight. Gerard Martin, this guy. I'm questioning him like at Barcelona. Bro, Gerard Martin, I understand he can cross the ball. I give him that. He can cross the ball. But outside of that, bro, he let Dumfries absolutely torch him. And then I was seeing Dumfries in the final. He couldn't do anything. He was legit. Looked like any player. He looked like an average guy. And PSG, you know what? Credit to them. If all in overall, they're probably the best team in Europe. But I think Barcelona, we could have won, and it feels like a blown opportunity, and we most definitely would have gave them a run for their money. That is what I would have said. We would have made them work for it because Barca volume. Have we lost a game like badly, like 5-0? No, we haven't. The worst game
No.
that seen us was two times Osasuna, the 4-2. We rotated, and the 3-1 versus Borussia Dortmund. Those were the two worst games. You know what I'm saying? That Barca played this year, I feel like. Bro, so that and those are 2 goal margin losses. Inter Milan got smacked. They got
Yeah.
destroyed. Start to
Dude,
finish.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I honestly think we were robbed of the greatest final in a long time. Because if Barcelona would have played against this PSG team, the internet would have broken, dude. Like I'm just telling you right now. If we would have seen the likes of Rafinha, would have seen Dewey, would have seen Kvaratskhelia, we would have seen even Lamine Yamal at his brightest, Dembele against Lamine, dude. How did we not get this final? For the life of me,
Bro,
this
don't get me
guy,
started,
dude,
bro.
this guy, Marciniak, he absolutely cooked Barca, and now he cooked Atletico Madrid as well with a penalty on Julian Alvarez. And the story came out today. They admitted it that this was a bogus call on Marciniak that never should have been called. And that would have given Atletico Madrid one more shot at Real Madrid in penalty kicks. That's crazy, man. Now he took out Atletico Madrid, and now he did Barca dirty as well. Man, dude, that's so infuriating. In my opinion, I'm still thinking about that guy, and that's one of the reasons the Lamine Yamal penalty, not penalty. The Gerard Martin could have been a foul, wasn't a foul. There's a handball by Bastoni. So many things that could have gone differently, and Inter Milan was so incredibly lucky against Barca, dude. It's not even funny.
Bro, like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I understand we were a little bit unlucky, but it just sucks. Inter Milan are like, I'll be real. They've just collapsed too. Their coach is gone, right? I think there's has such an old squad. I think they're done in Europe for the next 7, 8 years. I think they're done. You know what I'm saying? We know how hard it is to rebuild. Barcelona, 2019, ever since then, we've been rebuilding. Let's be real. Or we haven't been competitive. So it takes time, bro. I don't think Inter, they don't have La Masia with them. I think they're cooked for the foreseeable future. You know, like listen, bro, facts, bro. Listen, against Inter, you know what it is that I will say PSG probably would have been the favorite. And if I have to be honest, I could have seen them beating Barca too because this is the thing. We conceded corners, we make too many mistakes, and defensively, that last 6 weeks of the season, we were atrocious defensively. Like as much as I love Barcelona's attack, right, bro? Yo, Barcelona, we made way too many mistakes. Even the games that we won in the El Clasico, even the games that, you know what I'm saying, that we won against Celta Vigo, a last minute penalty. Bro, our defense was kind of crumbling, you know? And listen, PSG, I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about this final, right? We still got so many things to talk about, but you got any last words on them, bro? Because,
My last words on it have to be Luis Enrique, bro.
yes.
Oh my God, I didn't have a channel to rant about this, but when Luis Enrique left Barca, I was not happy, dude. I can tell you because he left. One of the issues that he had was with Neymar, and when he left, I'm like, no, dude, what are we doing, Luis Enrique? We need to keep him. And the fact that he went there and won a treble, dude. Give them credit. Give that man some credit because we have to put credit on his name because what he did in this PSG, they always been this club that they always flop in the Champions League. And
Yeah.
now give them credit, man. They have Dewey. They have Dewey for a long time. Now they have Kvaratskhelia mid-season, and
Yeah.
he scored a goal in the final as well. And this team with the Dembele playing like a Ballon'Dor type of season, in my opinion, he shouldn't be the front runner. But if they want to give it to him, fine. I can't argue with it. It's not a robbery or anything like that. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
give
facts.
them credit because Luis Enrique has given this team a purpose, and everybody do from Donnarumma who had a bad season when Messi was there, and now dude they got him back and on track, and he's good, and Marquinhos who's been there with so long with them, and Pacho, and dude don't get me started with Pacho, dude. Yesterday I made a point on my stream, and I said this: I watched 4 minutes of the best Pacho highlights in the Champions League final. Dude, there's nothing that he does that Araujo can't do, bro. And it,
Oh,
it
yeah,
blows
yeah.
my
He's
mind.
quality.
and
He's
they so
taller.
similar, and there's the type of athleticism, and Araujo even has more speed, and still, dude, we cannot get these type of performances from Araujo, and I still believe in him, but that's one of the things that I take away. It's just the Luis Enrique and the kind of job he was able to do this
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
It's
yeah. No facts,
incredible.
bro. Hey, big up Santiago. I rate Bisek, but for me, I want Van de Ven, bro. If I'm being real. But speaking about Enrique, my last thoughts on the final. He's an all-time coach now. Like it's not up for debate anymore. Two trebles. You know what I'm saying? Bro, historic ones too. MSN, right? We probably seen the best front three with them under Luis Enrique. Well, I've been a fan, right? The Luis
Yeah.
Enrique times was fluid football up to the maximum. Like that was beautiful football that I was watching. And then now he
Hmm.
did it with PSG. There's first UCL ever. You have to credit Luis Enrique, and he's not just a good coach anymore because of that one UCL carried by MSN. Nope, not anymore, bro. Luis Enrique is an all-time coach. But I thought it was interesting because you talked about the Ballon'Dor, Usman Dembele, right? Probably the favorite now. But listen, bro, what I will say is that Lamine Yamal has come out with some comments, speaking about playing Dembele, France, the Nations League, right? Speaking about the Ballon d'Or. And I don't know if you've seen it, but let me just put it on screen right now because apparently Lamine Yamal, he came out and he said, if you want us to decide the Ballon d'Or on Thursday, let's decide it on Thursday. And I mean, to be fair, this was not the only thing that he did say, right? Like
Yeah.
he also said, but like, look at this last line, right? But if people want to risk it all on one game, let's play that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be real. I don't think that the Nations League is going to be this big of a decider, but I will say, me personally, just as a Barca fan, I love Lamine's confidence, but I don't know if the Nations League is going to be enough to swing it. If I'm being honest,
Hmm.
before I give you a chance to speak, I think Dembele probably should win the Ballon d'Or, and I really believe that Dembele, although he's kind of a product of the system, he had a great year and he won the treble. So I'm okay with him winning also. But what are you saying about this?
Yeah, no, I watched the interview, or at least I watched like 4 or 5 minutes. I think was like a 15, 20 minute interview. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly, but he said quite a bit. But one of the things he actually did say, though, I don't want to say that this is taken out of context, but Lamine Yamal in that interview, he did say that if it was up to him, a game like this shouldn't decide the Ballon d'Or, because the reporter who was interviewing him was trying to get a clickbait from Lamine Yamal, from what I saw, and Lamine Yamal was like, Would you decide the Ballon d'Or in one game?" He's like, "I wouldn't. I would just give it to the
Yeah,
best
yeah, I
player."
hear you.
And then he said, "But if you guys want to decide it, well, let's have a fight. Let's do it. Okay, let's. If you guys want to do it this way, let's do it, right?" I think that which I love, and my best takeaway from Lamine Jamal is just his maturity, and he's kind of like he's not Messi humble, but he's not Cristiano Ronaldo thinking he's the best player and nobody comes close to him. He's like in the middle, and he has so much poise, and I love it. And he did say, like, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on me. I don't want to say that I must win the Ballon d'Or, because if you put that pressure on you, it never comes. And that was a little bit of a shot at Vinicius Jr., because he said,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not going to say that I should win it, because if I win the World Cup and I win the Champions League next year, it'll come. So I like that he's
True.
not so pressed about winning the Ballon d'Or this
No, but
year.
this is exactly what I was gonna say. Like, this is why I don't even mind Dembele winning it like one bit. Like first of all, Dembele, for the Barca fans who
Hmm.
wanted Dembele like to not win it at all, right? Because a lot of people call him a snake. They call him names, right? Understandably so. I used to defend Dembele at Barca. I was hoping that this guy would get it right, but it just felt like he wasn't always giving his all. He had the injuries, right? And it just never worked out, right? And then obviously he eliminated us last year. But Dembele, after the final, he actually, to be fair to him, he came out, he said Barca's his dream club. He was 20 years old, right? He didn't crash it
Hmm.
out on Barca. It wasn't like that. Like he said, I'm gonna respect Barca, right? Like they made me basically who I am today, right? And legit where I am today.
And
So
I'm not gonna
I'm not
lie.
gonna lie.
Yeah, that's a great point that you're making because when it comes to remember, you don't want to come across somebody like Vinicius Jr. because that's going to affect the votings. And the fact that he came out and actually said good things about Barca in the eyes of the voters, that's going to go a long way.
No, I think. Listen, also, I'm gonna be real. I think that also Barca fans they need to remember that the Ballon'Dor, Lamine Yamal, I still believe he has like 2 or 3 opportunities to be the youngest ever Ballon'Dor winner. And listen, I'll be real. I think he'll get one. Like truly, I believe that he'll get maybe not the next one, but the one after that. Like I believe in the next 3 years, I really believe that Yamal is the best player in the world. And if Barca win a UCL or have a very successful season, I think he'll come. So I'm cool with Dembele winning. He absolutely deserves it, bro. A treble, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Listen, I mean,
it's a it's a little unfortunate that he couldn't win it
yeah,
this year
yeah,
though, because we did win a domestic treble. But a lot of people already saying that the recency bias, right, always comes in. We live in a Twitter world to where whatever we see now, we think is the best, and because we saw Dewey score 2 goals in the final, now we say, okay, so why are we saying that Lamine's the best? Dewey is better than Lamine, and Dembele is the Ballon d'Or. Like, and let's think of like in terms of age. Lamine Yamal is 17 years old. Where was Dewey at 17? Like nobody even knew where he
facts.
was. And think of how much can Lamine Yamal do in the next 2 years, and he's gonna be Dewey's age by the time 2 years come around.
Yeah, no, guys, listen, facts. Guys, hey, the chat. Guys, smash the likes. If you're watching, please smash the likes. Guys, let's try to get to 20 likes today, guys. Let's try to get to 20. So, hey, if you haven't done already, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't done already, please smash the likes. Also, Barca Volume, his channel is in the title. So if you want to subscribe and support the brother out, please do that too. Smash the likes and subscribe to Barca Volume. But guys, listen, I mean, let me read the chat a little bit. Yeah, like this is absolute facts, right? The Ballon d'Or, this is the thing, right? As much as I rate the award, I still think it's a prestigious award. I will say this is true. The criteria, I'm not gonna lie, in the recent years, ever since the Messi Ronaldo era, even towards the end of the Messi era, right? The criteria feels like it's jumping around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I don't know how you feel about this. Like, how would you give the Ballon d'Or?
Honestly, it's always the same thing, and this has been happening for years. It's not just now, but we always have fights of who should win it, what is the criteria, what it is. To me, honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think if it was up to me, I would have a Ballon d'Or for the best keeper. I would have a Ballon d'Or for the best defense, the best midfielder, and the best offensive player. And honestly, it's always a fight. To me, I would say like whatever it looks like the best player. I think in that year it should be that player, and not just because you won the Champions League, not just because you won the World Cup, and in many instances you want to say maybe Messi didn't deserve it because he just won the Copa America. That's fine. Give it to whoever it's the best player. And I test, and right
Yeah,
now we have an incredible competition. I mean, my only issue with Dembele is, okay, he has great numbers, he has a triple, but when he was injured, his team was just as good. And that's an
that's
issue.
true.
Another issue is if you want to go in terms of numbers, well, Rafinha has better numbers. If you want to go in terms of performances, Lamine Jamal has more
Well, I
iconic
actually,
performances than
yeah, I
Dembele
have it right
this
here. Like,
this
look
Champions
at
League.
this. No, like, look at this, bro. Like, you would think that Yamal's off on the GA. Like, bro, guys, like, Yamal, like, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's 39 to 44. That's pretty close. But listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys, right? The stats are both crazy for both players. Very good stats.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. You made the case for Lamine Yamal to win the Ballon d'Or. I will say this, okay? I will say this. Lamine Yamal, ultimately, I think he's still the best player in the world. I truly believe that. I
That's
think he's the
exactly
best.
my point. And that's exactly
And
my
then
point. Like,
on top of that, like I'll be honest, if we're saying like an MVP, right? Who's the most valuable player? If you take Dembele out of PSG, you take Yamal out of Barca, bro. People call Barcelona at times this season Yamal FC. I don't hear. Well, I'm not a PSG fan, but I don't hear the same for Usman Dembele.
no,
But
dude. Look, the best players for PSG this season. Well, you can argue Dembele. You can argue Dewey. Dewey. wasn't even starting in the first couple of games of the Champions League. He started like half the games, and
Yeah, yeah,
Dembele didn't play some of the games, and they didn't miss a beat. So it's like he's cruising on this PSG team, and like, of course, he gets good numbers. But that's what I'm saying. If you want to go in terms of numbers, then Rafinha should be the Ballon d'Or. If you want to go in terms of performances, tell me a signature game from Dembele this season. Especially when it mattered most in the Champions League, like I don't see it. Like I can tell you that the tie from Lamine Yamal against Inter has everybody, even people from Italy, people from London,
yeah, yeah. That's
people
true.
from
That's true.
outside of Spain, dude, telling everybody that Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world. So if you
Yeah,
want to
no,
give it to
no.
the best player in the world, it has to be Lamine Yamal.
No, that's the thing, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Yamal is the best player in the world, right? Rafinha probably has the most big time moments, I'll say. And then Dembele has the best season because he won the most. He was the most successful. But
Yeah,
if we're being real, I'm not too mad about Dembele winning it. Ultimately, he deserves it, right? And like Jerome makes a very good comment. Like Rafinha deserves a Ballon d'Or. What I will say for the people who think Rafinha deserves it or should have gotten it or was unfortunately not going to get it probably because of Yamal and Dembele being pushed. I will say people who want Rafinha to win should be more upset than people who want Yamal to win because I don't know if Rafinha is going to get another great shot. I think that if Barca win a UCL, I think that this was Rafinha's shot because how do we win the UCL? I feel like Rafinha
didn't
would have got it.
didn't Rafinha get screwed on the best player of the Champions League, even though he matched Cristiano Ronaldo's numbers?
Yeah, yeah. So Dembele actually won, I think, the best UCL player. Me personally, I disagree with that. Like, you know why? Because Rafinha
He tied the
specifically,
all-time numbers, goals, assists.
and no, no, no,
Cristiano
actually,
Ronaldo, Mr.
bro,
Champions League, bro.
guys, I don't think you guys realize how sick this Rafinha season was, bro. Like, this guy got a hat trick on Bayern Munich, who, let's be real, Bayern Munich historically, right, and this ever since what 2016 have owned us, right? He got a hat trick on them, hat trick, three-piece, right? Okay, Rafinha, you guys remember that iconic game against Benfica where I legitimately I saw Ferran boot the ball. And then I thought the game was over 4-4. Relax. You know, it's okay. We came down from 3-1. But I see Rafinha one-on-one, last play of the game, slots it in. Everybody goes wild. On top of that, Rafinha, what should have been the most deciding, critical goal to send Barca to the final, he
Yeah,
got robbed of the moment,
dude.
bro. Listen.
Rafinha has more iconic moments in the UEFA Champions League this season than Dembele. Do you remember the Benfica game? Remember the
Ah,
Inter Milan game?
it's
Remember
annoying,
all
bro.
these games where he was iconic? Like that's incredible. To me, I think there's a case for Rafinha, but the fact that dude UEFA has been screwing Barca for a little while this season. Even when the starting 11 would come out of the week, we were getting screwed all year, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. You know what honestly pissed me off more? Like, actually, no, the Rafinha not winning the UCL best player is stupid. But what I will say is that Pedri did not make the team of the tournament, which was dumb also.
that's what I
That should
mean.
have definitely happened. That
That's what
should
I'm
have
saying,
happened.
dude. They put in Declan Rice because he scored two great goals against Real Madrid, but
Even
at the end,
Due shouldn't have made it. Like, over Pedri. No way.
he had a great season overall, but not better than Pedri. Pedri and Vitinha are hands down. Who's taking Declan Rice over Pedri if you're starting a team right now? Nobody. And UEFA has no clue. They're giving the young award to Dewey because they want to have somebody different because Lamine Yamal already won it,
You know, I
and
ain't gonna lie. This was, yeah, yeah. We low key got cooked on the awards, but listen, this is what happens when you don't win the trophy, bro. Like they can just decide and give it to whoever. But listen, I do want to read the chat real quick
yeah.
before moving on to the next topic. Listen, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Who you guys saying in the chat? Who would you give the Ballon d'Or to? Would you give it to Lamine Yamal? You know what I'm saying? Does the Nations League matter? Would you give it to Ousmane Dembele, who I believe does actually deserve it? You know, or would you give it to somebody different? Would you give it to Rafinha? Let me know in the chat before we move on. But listen, I just want to read some comments. I disagree with this, right? Rafinha this season was better than
This
any
guy
Neymar.
didn't see the 2015 season.
I don't know about that, brother. Brother, if you saw Neymar, and I'm sure you did, bro, right? Because Catalan, I've seen your comments, you know, ball. But the thing is, Neymar was incredible. Like the performances. No, no, come on, bro. Like, I'm
Dude,
sorry.
Dude, Messi and Neymar were hands down a cheat code, man.
Listen, I'm
Unbelievable,
telling you,
bro.
you could
Oh
win
my
any
god,
game.
dude.
Listen, I'm telling you. Have you guys like? I don't know if you guys play video games, if you guys play 2K, but like, you know when you have takeover, like your players going crazy on the video game. That was Neymar versus PSG in 2017. The best 8 minutes I've seen from a player ever. Hits a free kick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Instrumental in the comeback. I've never seen a player that locked in. Even Lionel Messi. I've never seen a locked in 10 minutes from any other player ever
yeah.
live. You know what I'm saying? But bro, yeah, Barca been robbed again by UEFA. The awards was just stupid. Like it just rubbed
Dude,
in the salt, bro.
like I said, Dewey hasn't started every single game in the Champions League, and he's going to get the youngest player of the season. Like that is ludicrous. How important was Lamine Yamal, a 17-year-old player for Barca, starting every single game from the beginning and not giving it to Lamine? Brother, come on, man. You're gonna give it to him because he scored 2 goals in a final. That's why he got the best player of the game. That's why you have those
Yeah, I mean,
awards. So you don't have to give an award for the whole season. That's just ridiculous.
no, I'm telling you, the game versus Bayern, right? The 5-4 versus Benfica, Inter Milan, bro. Like, even the game, Mez mentioned it. Bro, the game that we were down a man and Rafinha legit pulls up from legit so far, far away, and he hits the shot in the first leg versus Benfica, and we win the game. That was clutch. But listen, bro, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It is what it is. PSG, respect. I just thought the awards, I disagree with them personally, bro. But
They don't have
guys,
a clue,
let's move
bro.
on. Nah, it is, bro. It is what it is, bro. Hey, next year, we got a new player, and let's move on, guys. Let's move on to this topic because I believe truly that this player right here might be a big step, and I will be making a video dropping maybe tonight about this, and I'm gonna go deep in depth about it. But guys, look at this. Just in, Joan Garcia is indeed very close to joining Barcelona. Negotiations are very advanced and agreement is underway. Laporta, Deco, and Flick played key roles in getting the deal done. And it's not just Pletigo. Fabrizio has said the Here We Go should be coming soon. Tony Walmarty. It's legitimately every big source inside of Catalonia and even outside of Catalonia. So listen, I mean, what are you saying about? I think it's gonna be announced tomorrow. That is my gut feeling. But what are you guys saying about Joan Garcia coming to Barcelona? What are you saying about it,
Oh
Barcelona?
my god, dude! I haven't been this excited. I don't even know when was the last. Okay, I haven't been this excited since Lewandowski joined Barca 2 years ago,
Yes, yes,
and I
yes.
couldn't believe that he was actually coming here when Bayern was a better team, and the fact that he
Way
came here
better.
and wear the number 9 jersey for Barca, I was like, I still can't believe Lewandowski is here training with the team. Dude, I have not been this excited. I've been asking for a better goalkeeper for a long time, dude. We have had
Yeah,
Ter
real tough.
Stegen's. We got Ter Stegen. I believe it was 2014 or 2015. I can't remember, but he was part of the MSN. I think is the last. He's gonna
Yes,
be the.
yes.
I think he's the last player standing in that Messi era. And dude, it's gonna be a new beginning. It's gonna be a new start. It's going to be an amazing new season. Such an exciting times right now for Barca. If you're a Barca fan, because
Bro,
dude,
listen.
I it was driving me nuts that in this whole notion that we were getting Luis Diaz and he was costing 85 mil, and I'm like, what are we talking about?
Bro,
A left winger when we need to be getting a goalkeeper. And the fact that Barca is doing exactly what every Barca fan is asking right now.
finally.
Oh my God, dude. He's
Bro,
such a great goalkeeper. He's good on one-on-ones. He's good on the ball. He's good in the build-up play. Dude, and he's 24 years old. He's not even a finished product yet. I think goalkeepers prime, you're looking at the 26, 27 years old.
yeah, 26 when
So
they get back.
so you still got more room to grow, and the sky is the limit for this guy. But I can't believe it, man. He was just kissing the badge for Espanol. And let's be serious
Yo,
now.
I'm
Let's be
not gonna
serious
lie.
now.
He's gonna get cooked by the Espanol fans. When we go to Espanol, he will get cooked, bro. Guys, Bro, Espanol hates Barcelona with a passion. They have the same hate that Madrid has for us. And I can't believe Joan Garcia, there was links, he's a Barca fan. I was like, can we actually get it done? Because if it was a kid that's Espanol through and through, I was like, maybe he goes to Newcastle. Listen, NJ says it. Bro, for 25 million, this is a great investment for the club. Bro, I'm going to be honest. I think right now, Joan Garcia is probably the seventh best goalkeeper in the world, seventh or eighth. You know, I'm just putting respect on the other guys who have done it for longer. Barcelona, they're getting a top goalkeeper. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And you know what's crazy? The fans have been crying out for a goalkeeper, right? We're going to talk about Ter Stegen later on. But, man, Deco, Laporta, they finally answered the bell. You know, listen, Barca volume, it's crazy because we've been crying out for a goalkeeper. Please get it. Please get it. I didn't see that many links. And now we're probably going to get the best Spanish goalkeeper to play for our club. Bro, it's the present and the future. I'm very excited for the signing, but also it's because I think we can win the Champions League with Joan Garcia. That is why.
For what we have on the market right now, we're literally getting the best keeper out there. I don't think there's anybody. There's no Martinez or Divo Martinez, or there's no like any other keeper that you can mention. Yeah, there is better goalkeepers like Courtois, like Sommer, like Donnarumma. But dude, even Donnarumma, when Donnarumma was 24 years old, he was having stinker after stinker with PSG when Messi was there. And I know because I watch every Messi game. So I knew I've seen Donnarumma, and it drives me nuts. And look at him now. Like, that's three years later, and look at what he's now. What Donnarumma, I don't know his age right now, but he must be like 26, 25.
Yeah, 26. I think he's 25 now. But, like, look at this comment. This is an absolute fact. Best signing in a while. He will do well. Bro, listen, I think that he can be a Courtois level goalkeeper in the future. Maybe not a Courtois, but even then, if he can just be like, for example, like an Alisson, or even if he's not a top 2 goalkeeper, if he can be a definitive top 5 goalkeeper in the world, that is a huge signing for Barcelona. This guy kept single-handedly Espanol in the division. They would have got relegated if it was not for Joan Garcia. You know, these guys are not that good, Espanol. And Joan Garcia, time and time again, I watched them against Real Madrid when they beat them 1-0. He was the man of the match by far. I watched them versus Atletico Madrid in a 0-0 early in the season. He was the man of the match by far. I've watched them. Joan Garcia is not a joke. He's serious. I think, listen, I mean, go ahead. What were you going to say, man?
No, one thing that is really important, though, we have to be a little patient because he's not used to playing with the high line that Hansi Flick is going to expect him to play. He's gonna adapt. He's gonna have to. He's not used to have a open field per se, or so many one-on-ones, because Espanol plays with a low block, so it's a crowded box. He's not going to be on a crowded box anymore. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. We'll have to see how for Joan Garcia, how he's going to develop in the Hansi Flick system. But you cannot tell me his reflexes are light years better than Ter Stegen, so much better than Szczęsny, and it's actually going to be a perfect scenario. Because I said, I don't know if I said it with you or not, but I said this a couple of weeks ago. If it was up to me, I would let go Ter Stegen and I would let go Iñaki Peña. I would keep Szczęsny, but if Szczęsny stays, right? But if it was up to me, I would have kept Peña, and I would have kept Joan Garcia. But
Can I tell you something? Wow, this is the best though. Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah. I'm just gonna finish with this. I'm just gonna tell you this.
Go ahead.
But I do see what Hansi Flick is doing, though, because Hansi Flick, knowing that Joan Garcia is young, he wants to keep an old backup so that he can learn from Szczęsny. So I think that's what he's doing now. But I would have done Peña because I think it's better than Szczęsny still.
And also, you need to remember, bro, like Iñaki Peña, apparently, according to rumors, right, he was dropped because he was late. Not only that, like, bro, Iñaki Peña is a guy who wants to play football. Like his last 2 years at Barcelona, bro, he probably feels that he should have got more opportunities. So I'm gonna be real. I'd rather have Szczęsny, Szczęsny has already spoken about being a backup next year, right? I think Szczęsny is a decent option for a backup. I think that's perfect for, how do I say it, just the vibes, of Joan Garcia settling in. I feel like that Joan Garcia, and I'll get to the chat in a second, guys. Big up to the chat. Smash the likes. Over 25 people here are watching, guys. Smash the likes. And also subscribe to Barca Volume. Link is in the title. But what I will say, my only two worries about Joan Garcia, number one, obviously, is injuries, but you could say that about any player, so it's not a real worry. I would say it's just the pressure and adapting to Barcelona in the first maybe 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already mentioned it, the high line. But I'm pretty confident that he can do that because, once again, right, if old Szczęsny out of retirement could adapt decently well to the high line, I think Joan Garcia could too. My biggest concern is just his mentality, right, at a big club. You're no longer at Espanol. Everything is going to be highlighted. And especially since you're a goalkeeper, any goal that we could see the first 5 games, people are going to highlight it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's just the pressure of Barcelona. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We have to see that, and that's going to be part of his development. And I do think that he has such a high ceiling that it does not matter. Like, whether we play the high line or we play the low block, I think that it just comes down to his abilities and how clinical and how concentrated he is in all times. I think he's made of the right stuff. I think he's going to adapt to the Hansi Flick style, no problem. And I think he's going to get this defense better, because now we're not going to be so prone to making mistakes, because the defense, if there's a breakthrough, Kubarsi and Inigo Martinez have to know they need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
let him go, and they need to let the keeper do his thing. One-on-one situation, see if he can stop the shot. I rather them not make any mistakes and not take a
Yes,
red card or anything like
absolutely.
that, and
Fact.
just having that keeper gives you that confidence. I know he's gonna be good, man. I don't have any doubts. No
Yeah,
doubt.
no, that's the thing. I'll be real. I'm convinced. Like, like, to convince me, I'm gonna be real. I'm a player that I'm a bit harsh on the players. Like, you have to prove to me that you're legitimately like good. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we're talking about a starter. Like, guys, like, for example, rotational starters, like affirming. I'm not gonna be too harsh. I'm gonna look at more of the benefits. But guys who are starters, like Frankie De Jong, I'm more harsh on him, right? I want his performance to be higher. Joan Garcia, I'm expecting big things from him because he is our goalkeeper, right?
Hmm.
But what I will say is that you made a very good comment. I can't lie, because Joan Garcia, let's be real, guys, chat. How many red cards and penalties did we get this season? It was
Jesus
getting
Christ.
ridiculous. I've
It's so
never seen
desperate in every play.
I've never seen it. I've never seen anything in my life like this season, right? It was great, by the way. But the thing is that how many times do we get a red card or a penalty conceded? I've never seen anything like it ever since watching Barcelona since the 13-14 season. And you know what's crazy? Bro, like, we do so many unnecessary tackles, so many unnecessary
Yeah.
penalty kicks, because I feel like the defenders simply do not trust the goalkeeper, whether it be Inaki Pena, whether it be Ter Stegen, or whether it even be Szczęsny, right? I feel like the players, when Joan Garcia comes in, guys, you don't see Real Madrid do these dumb tackles with
No.
Thibaut Courtois,
No.
right? They just be like, you know what, Courtois, I'm not gonna get the red card. I'm not gonna take the penalty. You do your job. You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee
Hopefully,
you, Eric Garcia is gonna be like, dude, there's a breakthrough. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. Like, just let him go. Just
exactly.
let
It
him go.
shouldn't be like, bro, it should not be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we concede a shot, it's going to be a goal most likely. No, because then you're going to have Araujo and Cabarsi doing dumb things, right? Or Inigo, whoever it is. No, we should have a goalkeeper that, you know what I'm saying? This is why we pay you money, to bail us out eventually, right? Like, I hope the center backs, and I really think that the center backs will play better because of Joan Garcia coming into the team. But I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah, dude. I cannot. I'm just telling you right now. I cannot wait until we see Espanol versus Barcelona and see that Figo 2.0 take place at the Cornelera. Oh my goodness, bro! Like, oh no,
Oh
that
my
place where he got
days.
lifted like a Superman and he was all kissing the badge and everything, and all of a sudden we got him. That's insane, man. I can't like I can't wait for this narrative to happen, to see this scene with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stadium and everything. Oh my gosh.
Listen, bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is a good question. I don't remember the last time Ter Stegen I saved a penalty. I know that Jan Garcia, he saved 2 out of 6. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, he's had a lot of stellar games. Like, I'm not a guy who goes to the rating apps to rate players, but he has a lot of insane stats. He's like top 3, top 5 in every big stat for goalkeepers. So I'm not gonna lie, everything is suggesting that he's good. Eye test and the stats. And low, bro, what's it called? Barca volume. You remember this game, the Benfica game, when Tech just absolutely collided into Balde. Like, you remember
Jesus
the game? It was,
Christ, man.
I think it was the 4-5. Like,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not gonna lie. At the end of the day, I think Joan Garcia will be good, but I do want to get into these things because apparently his contract, right? Guys, FC Barcelona are set to sign Joan Garcia, and the total agreement, we already said it, it's going to be a 5-year contract until
Hmm.
June 2030 with a salary around $4 million. So he's not going to even be expensive. I'm somewhat surprised about this. Are you surprised by,
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
No, this is totally great business because John Garcia, if he ends up working out and if he ends up being the kind of keeper that we expect him to be, and I don't see why he wouldn't, dude, his price is gonna jump to like 60 mil, like within a
Yes.
year, like a year and a half or so. Like he's business wise, this is gonna be incredible. This price, and not only that, but all Madrid fans and a lot of Madrid accounts on Twitter, they're already crying, bro, because I guess
Yeah,
Barca,
yeah, yeah.
because of Barca move his his influences and stuff, and didn't want Garcia to be called up by the national team because that would cost them an extra 5 mil to Barca, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
already
yeah.
upset because of that. And even Barca got that kind of break. So I don't know. I thought it was hilarious, and I think it's a great deal, dude. It's a steal. I don't know why top teams don't go out and look for players like this at younger age at a cheaper rate. You don't
Yeah,
have to always spend 60 million for a Courtois or De Gea or something like that. You can go get these guys before other clubs sign them because it had not been for Barca. John Garcia goes to Newcastle, and then somebody buys John Garcia 3-4 years later for like 60 million euros.
nah, bro, I understand, bro. But listen, with that wage structure, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be higher because I heard Newcastle, they were interested. So I was like, they got the oil money. Maybe it's gonna be a bit higher. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit, harder for Barca to sign Young Garcia. But I'm very happy, for listen, I think that he ultimately wanted to come. But listen, speaking about goalkeepers, right, guys? Let's speak about another situation because Ter Stegen, Hansi Flick, Szczęsny. That's the next thing we're going to talk about because according to reports, right, Hansi Flick apparently only wants Joan Garcia and Szczęsny as the goalkeepers for Barca, right? Joan Garcia to start, according to many rumors, and Tech, right, Szczęsny to be the backup. It looks like Hansi Flick, I don't think he's going to be counting on Ter Stegen. And on top of that, another report has came out and said, just in, Barcelona want Ter Stegen to leave because the choice is Joan Garcia and Szczęsny, right? Ter Stegen has a 3-year contract and can do whatever he wants. What are you saying about this Ter Stegen situation, man?
Oh my gosh. Look, I'm okay with whatever Barcelona and Hansi Flick are deciding. I've decided this season, it was like about 2 months into the season when I saw what Hansi Flick was doing with Barca, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna give Hansi Flick the benefit of the doubt in anything he does. And so in Flick, I trust. If Flick says I am going to have, I'm getting rid of Ter Stegen because I want Joan Garcia to be the number one, that should absolutely be the case. But I do think that we've been harsh with Ter Stegen. He is a legend of the club. I believe that he's still a legend of the club. He was here for the last treble that we won for
Yeah, he's
Barca
going
in
for it.
2015. And that was an incredible keeper race as well with Bravo. If you don't remember that,
Yes,
that was
that
Bravo
was.
and Ter Stegen. So to me, I I think that we should have paid his respects. We should have given him more of a farewell situation. I know it's going to be a difficult situation right now because even Rashad, I think he just broke the news and something leaked about Barcelona has scheduled a much needed conversation with Ter Stegen in the direction that the club is going or something along those lines. And I do think there's going to be the harsh truth. And Ter Stegen, this has been this saga. Ter Stegen's been saying, like, I'm not leaving. I'm here. I'm going to
What's
compete.
funny? I have the quotes right here, bro. Like he said something like before he said, hold on, listen, guys, like I think you guys can see on the screen.
Yeah,
Basically, the rumors, that does not concern me. I know that I will be in Barcelona next year. He also said, right, I don't have it on right here, but he said basically how the next goalkeeper that comes in, we have Inaki Pena and me, and they're just going to have to deal with it, right? And
yeah.
listen, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of surprising that just a day or two later, there's news about him leaving and Joan Garcia officially coming. I'm not going to lie. It's just funny how life just comes quick at you sometimes. You know what I'm
But,
saying?
but he's bluffing, dude, because he cannot risk a year where he's gonna be on the bench, and he's totally bluffing because you cannot. It's a World Cup year coming next season, and he has to start. Whatever he is, he
Yeah,
has to
it
start. So
is.
whether that's playing in Saudi, whether that's playing in the Premier League, whether that's playing in other team, he has to go somewhere where he can start, and he has to do it quick because the longer that he waits, the worse it's gonna get for him. And Barcelona has already, as reports have it, Barcelona have already made up their minds. And unfortunately for Ter Stegen, he's in a pickle because he's coming off an injury. He cannot show his current level, right? So he cannot show Barcelona how good he could still be.
Yeah,
And
I
now he
understand.
has to go find another team that hasn't really seen him play for like a year. So it's a difficult situation. But hey, Barcelona has to move on. We cannot allow another opportunity to go get a Champions League because we don't have a great goalkeeper.
Yeah, bro. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes in sports, sometimes in business, you gotta be harsh, right? Even to the people that once upon a time were useful. I made a video about Ter Stegen. I said I'm Ter Stegen out, and it's crazy because I said I never would have thought I would have been Ter Stegen out if you told me this in 2017. I used to love this guy,
Mhm.
bro, but I'm legit one of the biggest Ter Stegen out guys now because, bro, I've trusted you. You know what it is? When you give somebody their trust, right? You give them your trust and they
Yeah,
break it and they just don't back you up time and time again. Why should I trust Ter Stegen starting at Barca? You know what I'm saying? For another year, for the what? The 11th year? You think there's going to be a difference in his performance? Now he's older. Now he's off injuries. Like logically, guys, don't be nostalgic. Let's be real, right? We're in the present right now. We're trying to go to the future and win, you know what I'm saying, a Champions League. Joan Garcia right now helps Barcelona more than Ter Stegen. It's a fact, right? Let's be real. And I'm not gonna lie, Hansi Flick. The apparently, if this is true, the Hansi Flick, they're saying that Gundogan. It's a similar situation with Gundogan, where Hansi Flick just didn't trust Gundogan, right? And now he doesn't trust Ter Stegen. Listen, what happened to Gundogan? He left. I think that Ter Stegen also. Let's be real, Barca volume. We got leverage on Ter Stegen. That World Cup is only in a year's time. It's not 3 years away. It's only
yeah,
1 year away. Don't you want to have one good year and start at a World Cup with no Manuel Neuer, right? Like I
yeah.
feel like Ter Stegen, if you want to be starting there, you can't be the second choice or maybe even third choice at Barca. You got to move on. Let's be real.
I'm pretty sure that Germany is going to ask him to start at whatever club he's going to be
Yes.
playing. So he's going to be pressured to leave. Like he thinks that he has the leverage, but he doesn't get it. Barcelona has absolutely the leverage that they can have because he has to start next season no matter what. Because if he wants to play for Germany, he has to be an active player. And the fact that Joan Garcia comes here, you're not going to play. You're not going to pay 25 million euros to see Joan Garcia on the bench. You're going to pay 25, and that's literally the release clause that he's going to pay. And you have to pay that up front to the league. Otherwise, it does not work. So Barcelona has to have a check up front, basically like literally like a cashier's check, and you're not going to pay 25 to sit him on the bench. So unfortunately for Ter Stegen, it's not in my heart
Yeah, yeah.
that to do him the way that Barca fans are doing him right now with all these Ter Stegen now things and trending things, and that's not cool. But at the end of the day, I still want him to be gone because I want John Garcia, dude. I haven't been this excited since Lewandowski, and I want him now.
Yes, that's true. I'm not gonna lie. I've not celebrated this transfer like Joan Garcia ever since Lewandowski. I probably would have agreed because
Yeah,
really, like the other transfers, Rafinha. As happy I am that he's on Barca now, right? He was like unproven commodity. We
we
don't
didn't
know
see
what we're gonna,
this.
right? We
We
didn't
didn't
know
see
what.
this.
Let's be real. We weren't really watching Rafinha at Leeds like that week in week out. Robert Lewandowski, this guy's a UCL winner. He scored like over, I think, 70, 80 goals at Bayern Munich or with
By the
Borussia
way,
Dortmund.
nobody has given Deco credit for that signing.
Oh,
It
for Lewandowski.
no, for Rafinha.
For Rafinha, yes, because
That
Deco
was a
was his
great
agent.
signing, bro.
Yeah, hey, listen, no, Rafinha, even when he was in his tough times, he had moments, big moments for us. Remember the PSG game, we got knocked out. And then on top of that, I remember the first season in La Liga, he had a
Yeah.
lot of game-winning goals, game-winning assists here and there in the 1-0s. Remember the 1-0 Xavi era, those 1-0 wins. Rafinha was kind of big in that league one too. So I'm not going to lie, Rafinha's definitely been a success. That's not the point. But I
Yeah.
will say, this signing, I'm very excited, bro. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm just looking at the potential. I think it takes Barcelona's ceiling a lot higher. Let's be real, Barcelona. In Barcelona, we're not really a team that we can play mid and get away with it all the time in Europe. We just haven't been that team. Real Madrid, they've had that leverage, right? Liverpool, they've had that. Remember the game that Liverpool won against PSG? It was 1-0, I believe, at Paris. Bro, Allison was a man on fire. If Joan Garcia can just give us maybe one or two of those performances in the
Yeah.
knockouts,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's huge. That's the difference between elimination in the quarters and reaching the finals. I'm not gonna lie. That's legit the difference. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, dude. That first game, the first leg,
Yeah, they got
dude.
destroyed.
I remember PSG ran away. I believe that game was in France, and
Yeah,
they
yeah, that was in
absolutely
France.
they
Sure.
run away with Liverpool. They Oh my God, it was so they overclass Liverpool, and that's nothing to sneeze at. That was very impressive. And the only reason that
Yeah, yeah,
Liverpool walks out with a victory in that game was because of what you just said. Allison stopped everything. The
yeah.
Barcolas, the Dembeles, absolutely a masterful performance from Allison. And at the end of the day, the last play of the game, I think I don't know if it was Trent or who that was that scored that goal, and it was just like a couple of chances that they had, and they actually capitalized, and they win 1-0. That is exactly how you win when you have a good goalkeeper.
You know what it is? It just like I'm gonna be honest. Ter Stegen, hey, I'll be real. You just gotta go because we have our next guy, right? When Ter Stegen came into the club, Claudio
Mhm.
Bravo left, right after 1 year. You know what I'm saying? And he accepted having that split time. Ter Stegen, he had his Joan Garcia moment. Now, bro, let it go. Let Joan Garcia have his era. If you're truly a legend, right? Gerard Piqué, Busquets, many guys have offered up their time to leave Barca because they know they're not the best guy anymore. Listen, if Ter Stegen is truly a legend, in my opinion, he won't make his exit too difficult. But I do want to say, having Young Garcia is beautiful because now you have another avenue. You have another way of winning for Barcelona. You know what I'm saying? Like you have Lamine Yamal, you have Rafinha, you have Lewandowski, you have Pedri, you have Dani Olmo, you even have guys like Fermin who could win a game. Now you have Jan Garcia, who's a match winner as a goalkeeper, right? I think that's huge. And listen, I am very excited. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Let me read the chat real quick. When are we gonna realize the defense is a big problem here? I do real. Hey, I agree, Barcelona. Jan Garcia, as great as he is, it's not acceptable that our defense is getting split open. You know what I'm saying? Like too many times. I will say that that's not a goalkeeper thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
well, that's what I said. I think Joan Garcia is going to make the defense better because the defense has to
yes,
get better. But a defense can be perceived as better or worse if you don't have a good goalkeeper, and that is
yes,
the problem with Barca. And many times we couldn't get bailed out by keepers. If you take a look at Real Madrid, or if you take a look at even like a Liverpool or PSG, their defense
yeah,
is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
look
You're
a
right.
lot better because take a look at the final, for example. The only few chances that Inter Milan had, and Turam gets a good breakaway. It's kind of like a one-on-one, and Donnarumma makes a great save. He gets a header. Donnarumma makes an amazing save. So that's two chances right there where Inter
Absolutely
could have
fine.
scored, and that could have made things a little different in that game. And maybe it doesn't end up 5-0. Instead of 5-0, could have probably ended up 3-2, 3 or 4-2. But the point is the defense will look a lot better, and that is what you get when you get a good goalkeeper. Everybody's level kind of rises up. And but I do, to your point on that comment, I do believe that Barcelona has to look for another answer at the CB position. I don't know. I
Yes.
have my doubts about Martinez because he's going to be a little older. Those legs are getting older. And that's why I brought up the fact that maybe Araujo can step up and have a better season next year. I don't know
Yeah,
what your
like
thoughts
I'm
are.
not gonna lie. As much as Joan Garcia will help the defense, he will push our defense up 15%, 20%, right? But the thing is, we need to look. Hansi Flick also is involved. This he's the head coach at the end of the day. He
Yeah.
needs to try to figure out how he can make this defense concede less chances, right? Because you want to rely on Joan Garcia, but at the end of the day, that technically is your last option. Your goalkeeper bailing you out, which is good. It's needed, right? At the end of the day, this is football, right? Any team will get chances at the top level, but we still need to limit chances. Teams like Celta Vigo, Inter Milan, right? The last 6 weeks of the season, even Real Madrid, they're getting way too many chances for my liking, right? Compared
Hmm.
to what we were seeing prior to the last 6 weeks of the season, in my opinion. But listen, I mean, before I move on, are you South American or Spanish? Van Lee asked.
I'm from El Salvador originally, from El Salvador, and I live down here in California.
Yeah, so hey, Vanley, now you know. But guys, let's actually move on because we got one more topic to talk about, and it's actually about the striker links because Deco has come out to the media and he has said, right, he was asked about Gyokeres in some type of media, you know what I'm saying, like scene, I guess, some type of operation, whatever it was, the area, right? He was asked about Gyokeres. Gyokeres to Barcelona, I'm not going to talk about the market because it's not the time. But he is a great player who did a lot for Sporting. That is what Deco said. And in my opinion, I think that Deco kind of shut down Gyokeres. I haven't seen enough links. You know, he was asked about him. I don't think Gyokeres comes to Barcelona, to be honest. It's you could say a missed opportunity, maybe. But listen, I mean, what are your thoughts about Deco's quotes about Gyokeres?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it's a missed opportunity here for Barcelona because he's a perfect profile player for Barca. He likes to press. He is a very good defensive player as well. Not like Kylian Mbappe, for example. He does not drop back at all. He does not want to do any of striker, sacrifice at all. And Jokeres is that kind of profile player, but he is on the market a year too early for Barca. We don't have the kind of money to spend on him. Even Deco has said that they're not looking at upgrading that position, not because they don't need to, but more like the stars are not aligning for Barca right now because we're overpaying for Lewandowski right now. He's the highest paid, right, for Barca, and his contract ends next season. And right now,
Yes, yes.
we cannot move him because where is he going to go? I don't think he wants to go to Saudi. I don't think he wants to go to any other club. He just said it. He has one more year on his contract, and he believes he has one more good season. He just said it in the international interview, uh,
Yeah, I
and
seen that. I seen that.
that's also Barcelona also doesn't have the money to sell Lewandowski or to even on top of Lewandowski go get a 70-80 million dollar player like Victor Gyokeres and stuff. I know he's going for 60 or something like that, but at the end of the day, I think we're just 1 year too early on him. Maybe we can go after Julian Alvarez next season, or sometimes
Yeah, I was gonna actually say that. I was
being
gonna say
patient
how,
one more year goes a long way sometimes.
yeah, you know what it is? It's like Gyökeres, I would have taken him. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't rate him as highly as other players like Alvarez and Isak. I think they're better. But to be honest, Gyökeres, Deco, I listen, I understand, right? Like Unleashed, right? He's saying basically, right, Lewandowski's 37. I understand the frustration. A lot of Barca fans, they're crying out also for a striker. But what I will say is that look at the timeline. Barcelona want to get right. Deco has come out on interviews. He didn't rule out goalkeeper and he didn't rule out left winger, right? So I genuinely believed that he was going to get those two positions. The rumors looks like we're going to get Joan Garcia probably tomorrow, right? The left wing situation. I think that is the priority for Barcelona once again in the transfer market. I think that this market, I really believe Deco, Laporta, they're going to get somebody in that winger department, you know what I'm saying, to kind of competition with Yamal and Rafinha, right, to split time and play there. But to be honest, if we're looking at Gyokeres, like you said, it's just a year too early, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Because Barca, there's no way we sign a left winger and a striker at the same time. I just don't see it happening. I wish I can be, you know what I'm saying, in some type of fantasy where Barca had like some type of oil money. But the truth is, I just don't see it happening. I think it's gonna be one at a time. I think that we go for a left winger this summer, and then next summer, come that time, we'll probably go all in for a striker. You know what I'm saying? Around the election, because there's gonna be, I think, the elections too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what I will say is that for next year, though, at least, who would you want? Because let's be real, Gyökeres will not be here. He's gonna go to like an Arsenal or Chelsea. It looks like, right? Let's be real, or Liverpool maybe. But for next year, who would you like Barcelona to go all in to replace
Oh
Robert
my
Lewandowski?
God, dude. That's a
Like,
good
who would
question
and
because
chat, get in this too. Who would you guys want? Chat. You know what I'm saying?
I
For
have
this,
a soft spot for Julian Alvarez. I know that we lose in
he's a baller.
size.
He's a
I
baller.
know that we're gonna lose in size, but he's such a baller, man. He runs for every single ball. He does not take anything for granted. He's such a stud. I would go look at Julian Alvarez. I try to maybe throw in maybe like a Fermin. I know something that it's gonna hurt, but it has to hurt. Otherwise, Atletico Madrid is not going to be interested.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do see your comment about Isaac, but I think that Isaac, I don't like the fact that he renewed his contract recently, and that
You
complicates
never
things
know
for
though.
next season.
But listen, listen,
Uh,
listen. You never know. There's so many of these secret clauses and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like in this football world, all these clauses, and with these journalists, they're gonna report some stuff. I truly believe Isak, the only way he leaves Newcastle is not a top six Prem club. It's only if a Real Madrid or a Barcelona come in for him. And
dude, this
listen,
this comment right there, man, Holland. That's what I was going to say.
I was gonna ask you next. Do you guys think that Holland, Erling Braut Holland, do you think that
Absolutely.
it's do you think well no what number one, do you think that it's realistic that Barcelona go for him? Like, do you think that Man City would like he has a release clause, but do you think that that whole operation is like realistic? I would love that, by the way. I would
This
love
is
it.
this is another issue about the same thing. I don't know what's going on in the Prem with these contracts, man. But Holland, again, the same thing happened with Holland because now he's on contract for a long, long time with Manchester City. He signed such a monster deal that kind of sends a message that he's going to be there for a long, long time. But dude, if we could have gotten Holland and we can start that dynasty again with Holland, Mbappe, or Lamine, Vinicius, that would just be insane. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Bro,
say it.
listen, I'm gonna be honest. This guy just said something that's dangerous. Imagine Lamine Yamal perfectly weighted crosses to the best finisher in the world, Erling
W-
Haaland. I'm just
We
saying
have seen
that,
Rafinha miss time and time again a lot of these chances. Haaland, in a
and you
million
know what it
years,
is?
would not miss them.
But this is the thing, Erling Haaland, Rafinha, fair play. He's a great winger. But the thing is that Erling Haaland is an elite striker when it comes to finishing the chances. And let me say this too. Under Hansi Flick, let's be real. Does Lewandowski, does he do the ball playing stuff? No. Does Erling Haaland do it? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You're not going to see the weaknesses of Erling Haaland. What you will see is him banging in a lot of goals for Barcelona. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I've already said this in my last stream. I said this for like 5 minutes. I'll be real. This Gyokeres money for 60, 65 million, I'd rather spend the 125 or whatever it is for Erling Haaland. 125 for Erling Haaland, trust me, that's not that bad. Barring injury, he will deliver. He will deliver. I believe so. You know what I'm saying? So,
A
what are you saying
proven
about
player is so much worth the money. This is why I don't want Barcelona to go spend 85, 60. Patience, it's key. Take a look at Real Madrid, for example. They were patient with Kylian Mbappe. I know they're overpaid with the signing bonus or whatever, but patience just pays in the future. Maybe right now we cannot upgrade on the number 9 position, but maybe next season we can go after Julian Alvarez. Maybe next season we can do the likes of Erling Haaland. And imagine those crosses being finished by Erling Haaland from Lamine Yamal. That would just
it? You
be
know what's
insane. It would be
crazy?
a cheat code.
Bro,
His speed, Erling Haaland's speed is really underrated.
And I mean, bro, listen. I mean, this is somewhat flawed, but apparently, Erling Haaland's release clause. I've seen reports that it's closer to 100 million euros, right, than 200 million euros. And
Hmm.
if it's like 120 million, I'm all in for that. I'm gonna be real. If Erling Haaland is the first type of Galactico, you know what I'm saying, like first type of signing, like that we've made since like a Dembele or Griezmann, I'm all here for it because once again, he fits. It's not like a Philip Coutinho that doesn't even fit the system. You're playing with Messi, right? It's not like an Antoine Griezmann. Erling Haaland fits. He's proven. He'll be like, what, 25, 26, 27. He's going to
Yeah.
give you 5, 6 great years at Barca. Let's be real. At least 5 out of the, 7 years if he's at Barca. Bro, the guy is scoring 35 minimum. That's a bad season for Erling Haaland. 35 is a horrible season for him, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be 45 goals most of the time. And with Lamine, listen, that is how. That's what. Listen, if I'm Barcelona, I go all in for Erling Haaland. If I can't get him, I like Isak better. And if I can't get Isak, then I'll probably go for a Julian Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? That would be my order. But I want somebody big, bro. Like I don't know if you feel the same way, but me personally, I want somebody big, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, somebody proven has to be the answer because take a look at Real Madrid, for example. This season, they were really bad and time again, bailed out by an amazing golden boot, Kylian Mbappe. And that's how they got the
Nah,
results
that's so
and
true.
time again. So it's literally a cheat code and that you have. It's like an answers to the test. So it's so much easier with having somebody who is proven, who is going to score upwards of 30 goals every single season, big quality goals, and that
Yeah.
is what having a great prolific number 9 is going to give you, and that is what Barca needs to go out because it just makes it so much easier. Take a look at how many games this season it took us so long, and at times where Dani Olmo was the one who was breaking up the low block, and he had to do something magical, something clinical, and that is what having a number 9 for full 90 minutes will give you, is going to break the backs of these low blocks playing you time and time again in the La Liga.
Yeah, no cap, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest. Like, let me read the chat real quick. Like, listen, if Haaland comes to Barca and plays with Lamine, Pedri, Rafinha, he's breaking Messi's 92 goal record. Listen, I don't know about that, bro. There's many players who've tried to break that, but I'm gonna be real. Listen, Haaland to Barca would break the inter. Bro, I know we're just dreaming, but listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not putting it past Jan Laporta. This guy has connections. I think that Jan Laporta, we've seen him have links with Erling Haaland, and bro, you're saying Isak, footballing wise is better than Haaland, but Haaland is serious, bro. Like I'm not complaining. Like you think I'm complaining about, bro? Erling Haaland is like a premium version of Robert Lewandowski right now. He'll get the
Dude,
goals. On top of that, he's faster, he's stronger, he's younger. Let's be real. I think he's gonna be more clinical. Like it's genuinely a dream signing. Like I would love that. I can't lie.
bro, how did Messi score 91 goals in a season, bro? That's a
Bro,
topic for
I
another
couldn't even do a goal
discussion, man.
season.
Haaland would come here and score goal after goal, hat trick after hat trick, and at the end of the season, he will sit there with 65 goals and said, "Really, really, 90 goals? How the hell did Leo Messi score 91 goals in one season? That's
Now,
insane."
absolute facts. Bro, listen, absolute facts. At the end of the day, Barcelona, what I would guys, my point was not even to dream about Erling Haaland. I brought this up. We're not going to get Gyokeres, it looks like. We're probably going to go for left wing, right? I'm probably going to have another Barca News recap stream in the next 2 or 3 days. I'm going to do a special stream maybe tomorrow. Guys, I'm thinking, should I stream tomorrow? I think I'm going to stream tomorrow once again. But listen, I'm gonna probably be talking about Diaz against. There's gonna be more links about Robert Lewandowski's future at Barca also. But basically, Barcelona. What I want to say, the gist, the message, it looks like from Deco is that we're gonna go for a left winger this summer. We're gonna get a goalkeeper, and we're probably gonna save the striker for next summer, which is not that bad in my opinion. In my opinion, I mean, would you be okay with left wing and goalkeeper only? Because me personally, I would like a center back. Like I would actually like a center back, even if it's on loan. Like I need a center back, maybe just one more, maybe a left back. Like I would like one more third signing for Barca, like personally.
So for this season, I would be okay with the left wing position. we would need a definitely. We got the goalkeeper already, so the goalkeeper, the left
Yeah, yeah,
wing.
thanks.
I would try to go maybe I would say left back and send Gerard Martin on a loan and get a left back. Definitely
Bro,
for me, we
I'll be
have to
real.
get
You know
one.
what? Hey, Barcelona, you're a nice guy. You said all alone. Bro, I'll just send him on a permanent, bro. Bro, Jordan, what you did to me.
I
Bro, I'm
think
seeing
it's
Dumfries.
easier. It's easier to send them on a loan. That's why than having
No,
somebody
but
into.
bro, what I've seen from Dumfries against Barca and against Inter, I'm like, Gerard Martin, brother, the damage you've done to my club. The fans could have been celebrating right now. But listen, it is what it is. At the end of the day, mistakes happen, but I think he's gonna have just a minimal role, even if he stays.
I
So, but
actually think I actually think the only thing we have to do, I don't think that we need to get a center back necessarily, but we need to bring back the best of Araujo and the best Christensen. I think we are okay because we have
I
Christensen,
agree.
we have
I agree with
Araujo,
you.
we have Martinez, and we have Kubarsi. So that's plenty to rotate.
I would
And
do this if Christensen and Araujo, like, let's be real, if we get like a stupid, like type of injury during preseason or something like that, I'm okay with like a deadline day type of signing for a center back on loan. Like, I'm trying to have center backs be there. Like, I don't want Christensen to be injured all preseason until January. I can't deal with that. And hopefully Ronald Araujo, this is his last chance. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to deliver. I still believe that he can be a guy that actually is good for Barca. He's had a tough last 18 months. But listen, guys, we're actually going to be wrapping up. Guys, make sure to smash the likes. Listen, dream left wing signing. My dream would have been like
Nico,
Kvaratskhelia, but
Nico,
okay. Nico, I'm going to say if
give me
Luis
Nico
Diaz is cheap. If Luis
any
Diaz
day.
is cheap, I'll take him. If Diaz is
Nico,
cheap,
bro.
I'll let him. You
Dude,
like Nico?
having those wingers, dude, having wingers is the new era of football. Take a look at PSG and what they were able to do with Kvaratskhelia on the left, with Dembele on the right, with Sever Dembele in the middle, Dewey on the right, Dewey on the middle. These guys
Yeah.
are incredible. If we can have the attack from Spain, the national squad, Nico Williams, Lamine in the middle, and Lewandowski up front, dude, and have maybe Rafinha on the number 10, it's a dream. I can only dream, but hey, it's tough to argue against Rafinha and moving him around. There's the saying, right? If it's not broken, don't fix it. And
Hey,
Rafinha had
listen,
an
all I will
incredible
say,
season.
hey,
And
Nico, you had your opportunity to force a move. When I'm seeing the reports of Rashford and Luis Diaz being desperate to come, I wish Nico had that type of, like, he loves Barca maybe, but he doesn't love Barca like the other guys that I'm seeing. So I don't really care about that. But guys, I will be live probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the day after for sure, right? Guys, one or the other, I will be dropping a video later today, right, about Joan Garcia and why he's the perfect sign. Guys, I won't reveal the rest. Make sure to check out the video. Smash the likes. Barca Volume, any last words from you, bro?
no, man, I can't believe this is the third episode, and I'm just having a blast, man. Thank you for having me in your show.
Yeah, bro.
Barca talk any day of the week, dude. I love to talk about this kind of stuff, especially new signings and new players coming to the club. And I just can't imagine how exciting this season is going to be, dude. We're gonna be making so much content. Dude. We have a new Camp Nou. We're gonna have a new team with a new keeper with Lamine Yamal number 10. How much exciting can it get? I'm not gonna lie. I'm just so excited and so
Yeah,
pumped
bro,
for
I
this
can't
season.
lie. Hey, I always say it, guys, with Barca, there's always news. And guys, this is series every single Tuesday, this weekly show. And you know what? The people turned up. So big up to all you guys watching. Make sure to be back on the channel whenever I go live. Have post notifications on. Last words, smash likes, and Barca Volume. His link is in the title. So subscribe to him. Show the brother some love. I will see y'all. Peace. Visca Barca. Stay safe.